What kind of investment are our parents, looking at making for their children?
That's a loaded question, but I will try to bifurcate and decipher.
Sure.
So, when we are planning for our finances, so they are, or probably when you're planning to go abroad, there are 18 touch point which our student parents need to go through.
Correct.
First, they need to, decide on country,
Yep.
then university,
Yep.
then courses,
Yep.
then skills, then the test assessments, accommodation, bank accounts, the source of finances.
Right.
It starts with source of finances,
Right.
right? Or even if I go further, especially with the kids which are so super privileged and their parents are so supportive. So even when students are at grade 8,
Right.
there are assessments, psychometric tests, career plannings.
Sure.
Then there's a university selection process.
Right.
So depend upon which stage of that journey they are. If
Right,
they are
right.
probably they are in their 11th standard, probably they have probably 2, and they are looking to go for undergrad. They have probably 18 months to plan.
Sure.
If they're in their grade 8,
Sure.
they have a super advantage of building on their profile.
Got it.
And then probably aim for a bigger university, better universities, and also get give it a shot for scholarships.
Yep.
But definitely someone who's going abroad should plan 18 months before.
Got it.
I call it's like a planning a baby journey.
Mm.
At 9 months, minimum 9 months before, and post 9 months is
Right.
what define the more success stories for someone who's going abroad. Now coming on the the commercial aspect, right?
yeah.
So before that, if you allow me to take a step back,
Fair.
so there's a myth, and it's fact also. Like likely they are, people who are thinking they are not wrong.
Right.
That studying abroad is expensive. This is what even I used to think.
Fair.
Because my cousin who went for undergrad, of course he was more rich, right? And that point I was very clear that probably undergrad till nahi aa pauga. It's very
Right,
expensive,
right,
right?
right.
Especially in London,
Fair.
right? So, but if someone will ask me, so I have a 4.5-year daughter who we call it Faith, right? I'm very clear that she will be a global citizen, whether she study undergrad here or whether she studies postgrad anywhere.
Sure.
She's already a global citizen, right? The kind of content consume, whatever, right? So as a parents, the moment your kid is getting born, the biggest thing you can do for them is just start a 10,000 or 5,000 SIP, or open that bank account like that Samriddhi,
Correct.
some
They have
government
few
bank
of those,
account,
yeah, of
right?
course, right. There's one for the girl
Samriddhi,
child as
yeah,
well, and
Samriddhi.
yeah,
We have
a
opened for
couple. Right,
Faith,
right.
and just 5,000, 10,000 SIP,
A monthly SIP.
monthly SIP, and now everyone can afford it, right? I was in fact, it's so funny that last night I was with someone from NSC who was with NSC for 30 years. I have some data which they were sharing that every year there are 18 crores, now there are 18 crores demat accounts, and lakhs of SIP, new SIP, recurring SIP is coming to,
Yep.
so at least SIP has been, adopted.
Correct.
So just start 5 or 10,000 SIP of your kid.
Right.
The moment your kid got born, and in 18 years, you end up having at least in worst scenario, anywhere from 1.5 to 3 1.5 to 3 crores of corpus.
Right.
You know how much of superpower your kid or you will have, that your kid can decide not because of finances but because of their merit.
Right.
They can decide whether they want to do sports management or they can do cybersecurity or a liberal or a STEM.
Right.
And it's not expensive for your child to study abroad.
Fair.
And at least for me, I always tell my partner, my wife, that the only thing which we can give to our kids is values and education.
Agreed.
Post that you give them 1,000 crores or 10,000 crores empire. If they are good, they will rebuild it. If they are not good, probably they will not end up eating 10,000 crores, but probably that money will not be used well. So this is a journey, and now commercial. So anyone who's going to a like average or a standard university in UK or in Australia, it starts from anywhere from $30,000 to $50,000
Right.
a year.
Right.
That's a tuition fee,
Right.
right? Probably a university which is a bit less on ranking can starts at $20,000 to $30,000, right? And then over and above, there is another $10,000 to $15,000 or a pound or a US dollar
Right.
on housing,
Sure.
and then 1,000 to 2,000 per month, or probably 10 to 15,000 a year will be living expenses. So on an average, we have lots of data.
Sure.
So a typical international student spend around $46,000 for their year education.
Got
If
it.
they're going for undergrad, you can multiply by 3 or multiply by 4.
Got that.
So yeah.
Depending on number of years, that's actually.
Yeah,
So you're
yeah.
saying $50,000, which maybe, let's say, the rupees already hit
35 to 40
190.
lakhs.
So maybe in the range of
Yeah.
40 to 45
Yeah,
lakh rupees
yeah, yeah.
per
Per year.
annum is what they should. And this will take care of everything in terms of
Yeah,
living
yeah,
and,
yeah.
maybe an occasional travel back and all
Yeah,
of that
yeah,
as well.
yeah, yeah.
Because often I've seen parents will, they'll say, अच्छा चलो इतना तो, आप भेज देते हैं,
हाँ,
वहाँ
फिर-
देख लेंगे.
हाँ.
And, they'll manage over there. They'll pick up, some part-time jobs and they'll wait tables or whatever. But maybe that's just not the right approach. So
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
That's a bonus if it comes, but maybe not something that one should
Absolutely.
rely on.
In
right?
fact, lots of people. So also, we need to understand there are two ways of going abroad, or the two purpose of going abroad. When we call global mobility,
Sure.
one is global mobility for education. The other is global mobility for immigration.
Right.
So everyone needs to be very clear that if
Right.
we are looking for immigration,
Right.
going abroad through education route is not the right way.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that they are doing wrong, but it's not the right expectation. Right?
Understand.
And even for universities and colleges, they also need to understand this.
Right.
Because we are someone who are a marketplace for students and universities and education agents. So we are like someone which is not making money by doing something which we don't believe in.
Yeah.
Right? And then we say we are superpower, that we can say things which is right rather than which my management or my investor wants me to say. And I believe that conscience, if clear, is it's superpower.
Right.
So even universities and governments also need to be clear now that when you are inviting Indians, Asians, Nigerians, you need blue collar jobs,
Right.
and that's why you're inviting.
Right.
Then don't tell them that they will have a green cards and all that.
Yeah.
Make it a temporary 2-3 years of steno.
Right.
And then they are also clear that they are coming for a year or 3 years. They're spending, let's say, 10 lakhs and they're earning 50 lakhs and back. At least things are clear. No wrong expectation.
Agreed.
But when COVID is there and you don't have people to work and people have gone, or Brexit happened, people have gone back to Europe,
Right.
then you open floodgates and get people from all across the world, especially Asians.
Yeah.
And then when the election comes, then net immigration become a soft targets, and housing become even a soft targets.
Yep.
Right? So I guess high time that we should all talk about this way.
Got it.
Right? And at time also, not that government is doing it purposely.
Right.
Because everyone is all about politics. As a politician or as a leader, not even politician, as a leader.
Right.
Let's say if I'm a CEO of a company, which probably the max long-term vision can be 10 years. So lots of my strategies, my decisions will be
Tweaked accordingly.
to ensure that I am a CEO for next 10 years. It's as human or as natural as I can, right?
Get that.
But that's where the long-term thinking is very important for the country, for the leaders, for universities, for students, for parents.
Right.
Because I'm sure you have lots of experience under your belt. Most of your success have come over a period of time when you have been working consistently with compound efforts,
Of course.
not probably that one idea.
Yeah.
So if these have been clear, then I would say going abroad is like everyone should experience it. Everyone and anyone and everyone can study abroad.
If just for the exposure that you mentioned, just go there for the exposure, go there for the
Absolutely.
learning, and bring some of that back. It doesn't
Absolutely.
mean that you have to settle down there.
So I was talking to Hitesh from Cadila, who's a CBO there, and I was like blew away when I got to know few numbers and processes about finances.
Right.
And now anyone who comes to me that study abroad is going, is it privileged to be study abroad? I'm like, no.
Yeah.
You just need to plan and you need to take some risks.
Of course.
Right? So around 5 to 6 billion every year been dispersed for student housing or for student, like for admission.
Right.
For study abroad. And even if you can afford it, do take education loan.
Yeah.
Because there's a taxation rebate, which is only when you take education.